really, as city councilmen, we are volunteers, and we look at different policies, different rules that might improve the way the city is run or how the money is spent. For example, how many fire trucks we might need if we need a new one. Those are usually expensive. Or how many police cars. We have full-time people that work every day in City Hall, making things run really good. Like the lady Pam Nelson that I mentioned that was here a couple hours ago. She's head of our Parks and Rec. So to your question about do we build the houses, we don't necessarily build them, but the folks that come in, the builders, they do get permits, and they have to follow the rules that we have set up, and that's pretty much in every city that you go to. Christian. How was my college life? It was pretty fun. I met a lot of friends that I still am friends with. And when I was your age, and even when I was in college, people didn't talk that much about community service. And I'm glad it's changed because does somebody know what community service is? Somebody raise their hand? Yes, sir.
Helping the world.
What's that?
Helping the world.
Helping people in the world. That's exactly right. And it can also be helping someone in your neighborhood. Community service could be helping your neighbor. It could be helping someone at your church. As you guys are starting to get older now where you can work on things like, have you seen the Colony Christmas Spectacular? It's over there by the fire station?
Yes.
If they use volunteers, right now I think they're twisting lights and bundling them. And I think, so you guys are mostly 12, 11? Okay. So I think at your age you have to go up there with a parent. Like several of you could go up there, and right now they're working at the fire station. But that's an example of something you can do. You can also do things like picking up trash in a park. Once you're in high school and you do that community service, make sure you keep track of it, because colleges look at that. How many people in here play sports? Okay. How many people think you might want to play sports in high school? And how many people are really going to work hard and think they might want to do sports in college? Okay, so let me tell you a little story. How many people know that we have a player from the Colony going to Notre Dame? Okay, look, there's a guy named Brant Blankenship, and he's going to go to Notre Dame on a football scholarship. And one of their coaches was at a game 3 or 4 weeks ago. His name is Coach Kirk Mikulec. And I asked him, I said, Coach Cooks, do you guys watch Instagram or Facebook or Twitter? Do you guys watch all that social media? And he said, yes, we do. I said, well, is it important for you guys that you tell your athletes what is appropriate to put on there? And he said, yes. Not only do we watch what they put on there, we have 8 people that are either talking to their current athletes or looking at their recruits. So this is one little piece of advice I'm going to share with you, is what you put on Instagram is really for all the world to see. And even if you delete it, it could still be there. And so there's adults, there's kids, people every age sometimes do some stuff that is kind of crazy, but know that that is something that people do pay attention to. You guys are in a very different world than how it was when we were coming up. And so, like, if you want to work at Topgolf or you want to work at Nebraska Furniture, they all use Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and they also want to see that you're doing real positive stuff. Like, if you're doing community service, that's something really great to post on there. Christian, go ahead. In Texas, mostly in southeast Texas, but my grandmother was from Oak Cliff, so I always we would visit Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff is oak, like a tree, and then cliff. So that's South Dallas. And then some overseas in the Netherlands, in Holland. I played baseball and I ran hurdles and track. And I play a lot of basketball because that's one of the sports that my son plays. Yes, sir. Say it again. Did I do sport? Not in college. I didn't. Just intramurals. So we had intramurals. If you go to the bigger colleges, a lot of times they'll have intramurals that you can do. So it's for people that are still want to play sports but that aren't superstars. I think that's a good way. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any pets or used to?
We don't have any pets right now. up, we had horses. We had a horse named Baby, and we had a horse named Jacob. One time Jacob kicked my mom, and do you know what my mom did to Jacob? She bit his nose, because my mom grew up on a farm, and she did not tolerate any misbehavior from animals or people. So we had a horse named Jacob, we had a lot of chickens. At one point in time, we had skunks, little baby skunks that we had found that got lost, we bagged it, so it was safe to have around. We had possums, we had peacocks, we had guineas. Peacocks and guineas are birds that are really loud, they're good watchbirds. That eventually the coyotes and things like that, you didn't want to run around. So there's a few pets we had. Pretty average. Yes, ma'am.
What jobs did you have before this?
First job I had ever as a kid, I worked for some people that owned a camp house, this land near where I grew up, and I worked for $1 an hour mowing and watering. They had this real cool riding lawnmower that I got to drive, I think when I was 12 or 13. And these people had a lot of money. They were among the more wealthier people in our town. They had an airplane, a small airplane. They had 2 Mercedes, and they had a Suburban. But they wanted to teach me the value of money, which at the time I thought was really, really crazy. So every so often, I would ask Miss Guthrie, I've been working really hard, and do you agree that I've been working hard and doing well? And she would agree. I said, well, do you think that maybe I could get an additional 25 cents an hour? She said, well, I don't know. Let me talk to Mr. Guthrie. I thought, what is this